What is up, my wonderful Gala community? It's Dr. Wookiee. A lot of people have been talking about the halving for Gala and when it's going to happen because people want to know, right? And it is a moving target now after we move to this supply-based halving. Well, saw a lot of misinformation. I'm going to call it FUD in the Discord that there's going to halving is going to be happening between 4 and 12 days, and that simply is not true. That's why I'm calling it FUD, because the math does not add up. And we're going to go through the math, and we're going to go through basically why I think they got to that number. So first off, Gala's been doing a little pumpity pump. Let's click the refresh. You'll see, yeah, it's doing this little pump. I don't know why. Okay, maybe the crypto, it's just hot right now. There's no specific new news in lawsuits, nothing like that. So I'll definitely let you guys know as soon as any information like that comes out. So CoinGecko, their circulating supply and total supply is exactly the same. And if you look at this little information thing, basically they're saying they're taking this number exactly from Gala, from a creator API, which we'll show in a second. CoinMarketCap, they have a different number. They have 29 billion as a circulating supply and like 31 billion as a circulating supply versus CoinGecko that says 35.18 billion. Okay, now they're pulling from this page here. Okay, it's like a Gala page that's just white and it has a number on here. It's also missing the decimal, but basically it's saying that our total supply right now is 35.18 billion Gala. Now I will say that Forging Crypto here asked Jason Brink about it just the other day, and he said that he was having some engineers dig into it, but that the API isn't accurately tracking the burns from the bridges and deducting them from the total supply. So that number might actually be a little bit smaller, that 35.2 billion. So if you want the too long didn't read, you want to know, like, Wookie, just tell me what date I'm looking at. May 7th, 2024 is the earliest that the next halving can happen. Okay, and I will go through all this math here in a minute. So we have a Risky Fish who made a nice Dune tracker here, and we have Anthony Ra who made a nice tracker here. Now with this one, it shows the total community bird at like 141 million, which seems like a little low based on like the store purchases and stuff. But once again, if the APIs aren't tracking correctly, that's not our fault, it's the community. And of course, Gala should be able to have a cool tracker or whatever, not just that white page that says like, this is the exact number and here's like the anticipated halving. That would be great, right? So basically, I used a couple of Medium articles to kind of help us get to that number. May 15th, 2023 being extremely important. So let's jump through some of the math here, okay? So first off, the total supply of Gala V1 on May 15th, 2023, before they upgraded to that V2, was 46.3 billion. And you say, okay, well, how did you get that number? Well, if you look at their like 2023 blueprint paper, you can find this elsewhere too with the emission schedules. On here, it says that the first day the nodes were operational was July 22nd, 2019. Okay. And you can see the different halvings here in the tranches. So obviously I was able just to go to May 15th, 2023 and calculate out the exact amount of Gala, which came out to 46.3 billion that would have been available in the world at that time. Now, on that day too, Gala burned a bunch, right? We had a 15 billion burn, 2 billion burn, and a 3.9 billion burn. The total burn was 20.96 billion, almost 21 billion Gala. And then May 15th, that means we started May 15th with 25.3 billion Gala in the total supply, okay, which put us to tranche 2, because this is when we move to supply-based halving. Now, to date, March 9th, of course, this was yesterday, okay, I'm filming it today, get over it. 299 days generated 10.2 billion Gala, so that means 35.5 billion Gala has been created, okay? That is the max that could be made at this time, okay? That means we're about 2 billion away from just using that number alone. So I subtracted the community burn, got to about 35.4 billion, okay? Now, if you take that means we got 2 billion left, and until the next halving, that would take about 60 days with no burning at all, which takes us to May 7th. Now, my guess is this May 7th is actually a little further back, maybe like May 15th. The reason being is if we look at this number, 35.4 billion that I got, right? And we look at the Gala's number over here of 35.18 billion, they're pretty close, right? That's about 200 million less that Gala is showing on that API of how many Gala tokens there are. And so if they are missing a whole bunch of burns or burning, then yeah, maybe that number is the more accurate number. But again, this is math. You cannot like mess with math, right? It's exact. Now, if this is wrong, it's because Gala right here on said July 22nd, 2019 is when they started. So if this number is wrong, it's because Gala lied to me here in this page. Okay, that is like the only way that this math can be off. Okay, because this number, starting with this number, this is how we break it down. Now, here's how the people who are talking about the quote misinformation, right, giving us the wrong numbers, this is why I think they're giving us the wrong numbers and what they're thinking. So this 35.18 billion, total supply, Gala, we know, holds a reserve of 2 billion Gala in a single wallet. Okay. Now, typically for CoinMarketCap, all these different places, typically they don't count that 2 billion, right? Because it's held by the company. So they usually don't count company reserves as like circulating supply. Okay. And so if you add 2 billion to the 35.2 billion, of course, you get to 37.2 billion, right? Which means there's only 300 million left to like the next halving. Okay. So I think that's where they're getting the other number. But again, it's completely wrong because you cannot have that much. It's impossible. The max we could have right now is 35.5 billion based on all this data, all this math. So as always, the Wookiee went through, did all this work, did this math because I like to be very accurate and I like to, challenge things if they're not true. So this is when the halving is going to happen. May 7th, sometime in May, probably. And so we'll see. We'll see if Gala comes out, gives us a different number, tells us that we missed some other, burns, whatever. But of course, they should have a very beautifully perfect, accurate API that we can look at so that we don't have to do any of this math. Because, this was annoying math for me to do. It took me like an hour because I had to pull like all the information, find the old numbers, the old emissions, and then see how much burn, Oh, man, just a bunch of work. As always, stay warm, Wookiees.